Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. That's right, we're in the doggy bus again for this episode. There's only 3 more episodes I have planned left for this doggy bus, which is a 6.0 liter powerstroke diesel, turbo diesel. Here's your turbo right here. And as you can see, we've got it all out. I've been replacing the 𝐒𝐻R system with a bypass kit. The 𝐒𝐻R coolers are a very common problem on these trucks. They leak coolant into the exhaust system. I've been dealing with that, and I fought with everything on its way out, so it should go back together a lot easier, I'm hoping. But that's the plan for today, over the next couple hours, to get everything back together, get this truck back on the road, which I converted into an RV, and yeah, start using this again before I sell it or whatever. But there's a couple more videos I have planned coming out for this, not much, but today we're going to get this back together. So I'm not excited about this. I'm pretty tired of working on this right now, but it is what it is, so hopefully in a couple hours it's done. All right, well, I got that part in up there, so I've got to make sure it attaches here. That looks a little weird, the way it drops down so low. But that should be fine. You see what I'm talking about, how that hose is now like going up at a dramatic little angle. But I'll get that put on right. We'll get this all cleaned up and start going back together. Well, that was nothing the pry bar couldn't persuade, but as soon as I did that, I realized maybe it needed to be like that so it could fit under the turbo bracket. So we'll see. I may have to bend that back down. All right, I mean, that looks so much better than that old 𝐒𝐻R stuff in there. Basically, that just reroutes the coolant, so back together time. Everything looks good. Double checked it, so turbo goes in, and the turbo's a little tricky just to make sure we get all the correct parts put on it and tightened down without having any boost leak. I guess what I mean is just reaching my arm in through the front there, trying to get past everything and get it tightened down with a little wrench. It's pretty tricky, but I mean, that's it. Other than that, the easy stuff up front, the turbo, and then that pipe that just bypasses what that old 𝐒𝐻R would have done. So all right, I finally got this turbo back in. I mean, finally. It was, well, nowhere near as hard as coming out because I learned how to do it when I brought it out. But what I ended up doing was taking that oil feed that goes through from the turbo down. I think this is a high pressure oil pump under here, but probably just recycling it into the engine. I ended up taking that tube out while I put the turbo in, and I took the turbo all the way back like this, in this fashion, so that I could put the feed tube back in and then set the turbo on top of it, and that worked pretty well. So yeah, I'm worn out, but I got it. All right, now before I put the exhaust pipes on, so I'm just going to do this, close up the doghouse, and then I'll finish everything else from up front. But before I do that, I want to make sure it's not got water in the engine so I don't hydrolock it. So I'm going to make sure I can spin it around a few times. I'll check if there's any in there. It should have gone through an exhaust valve, and hopefully, if that's the worst case scenario, if it did get in there, that would be the one that's on its exhaust stroke. So hopefully I should be able to just turn it and slowly push that water back out of there. So we'll see. I'm going to spin it around a few times by hand and check in here, which when I put that paper towel in there to wick the water out of this exhaust manifold, it did a good job and got all of it out. So I'm going to check in here and see if we got any back in there. Okay, it's not hydrolocked and no water came back in the exhaust manifold, so that's good. right, so now I'm a little frustrated. I put this all together and it's leaking out from up there from that bypass kit. So remember how it was bent downwards? I don't know if I messed it up bending it upwards. I mean, there's no way it could have been further down the way it looks at that turbo bracket. So I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out. But that's gonna do it for today. I was just putting everything together up front, so luckily it's been a lot faster going back together, so it should be a lot faster coming out. Unluckily, I've got to deal with all this again. So for another day, I guess I'll have to order another kit or something. I don't know what the deal is. Right, well, I've done a bunch of thinking. I just took a shower to kind of cool down and think about it. And here we are, going back at it. So I'm gonna end the video today with me taking this back apart. So once I figure out what's wrong with this, I'll end the video. I'll just include it in some other episode, in an episode or two where we drive it. I mean, we're gonna take this thing snowboarding in a couple weeks, so it's gotta be done for that and to sell. I can't just have it sitting here broken. So just assume I'm gonna fix it tomorrow. I'm not gonna drag this video out forever. So I'll get it taken out, diagnosed, and we'll end it there. So my biggest mistake, I've decided, or should I say learned, was the fact that I didn't pressure test the cooling system before I put the turbo and stuff back in. That has nothing to do with the cooling system. As soon as I put that J pipe on, I should have pressure tested the system and checked for leaks. But it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna take, all I've gotta do is take this charge pipe off and undo the turbo and the pipes in the back. Probably about 30 minutes I'll have this all out of here. So gonna waste a bunch of coolant, so that's a bummer. That's like 30 bucks worth of coolant. I think that's gonna probably come out of there, so whatever. Here we go. All right, well, let's see if I've learned anything. I may be a pro at these 6.0s now. See if I can get this turbo out in less than 15 minutes. Oh, I forgot to undo the oil feed on the top. All right, round two. Here we go. Bingo. That makes it like 18 times easier to just remove that oil pipe. And then, without pulling around, this just comes straight out. Yeah, I got it figured out faster than Diesel Tech Ron. No disrespect, R.I.P. Diesel Tech Ron. But it took him a good minute to get that out. It took me 20 seconds. Well, here's what we're looking at. You can see the coolant dripping off of it now. And I don't know what's going on. You can see where I just caught the edge of this with the Sawzall, but I don't think that's what's causing it to leak. So, in fact, I think I can see right there in the side of the pipe where it looks like it's leaking. Looks like it's coming from, if I can put my finger on it. Right there, if you can see that. Right here, I think it's coming out of, not even up here. Could be wrong. No, maybe coming from up here. Oh yeah, up there I think. Never mind. Let's see. There's one bolt. Here's the other bolt. Just leave that on the valley cover. Here comes the coolant. I've got my drain pan under there, but it's about to come pouring out. right, coolant, come out. Okay, I guess it already came out. Now, no, there it goes. Man, such a waste. That's all going in my catch pan, but look at all that coolant. That's 2.5 gallons. Now, what was leaking right here is what I want to know. What was leaking? So much coolant. Well, I'm looking at this. There's no obvious signs of why it was leaking. We'll pull it out in the light here in a minute and take a better look. But for the moment, I want to get a good look at this. My knees are hurting now. Let me just sit up here. I don't see anything obvious here, so I'm going to inspect up there and see if there's anything obvious. Yeah, I don't see anything. I think the welds look fine. If it was leaking that bad, I should be able to blow on here and see if these welds are okay or not. Feels fine. No burrs or anything up there. I don't know. Don't know. Just don't know. What in the world is going on here? I mean, there's no way. That little edge I caught of that with that Sawzall, it's not even going all the way to the inside lip. There's no burrs, no nothing. We'll see. Well, I'll tell you what, I think I know what the problem is. This just isn't very tight in there. I think it's just a little too small. See how that just slides in and out so easy? Just slides in and out so easy that I think it's just not sealing because it's just too loose. You just see the amount of wiggle in there. So we need a really fat O-ring, or we need a nipple that's a bit wider. That's probably, I'd say, like a, I don't know how to measure in thousandths of inches or anything, but it's just not wide enough. Well, that'll do it. Here's this O-ring. I'm gonna go ahead and find a new one and see if this works, or if I need to just send this kit back and get a different one. But I imagine a thicker O-ring will do the trick, so I'll see if I can hunt one down. Alright, roadside rescuers, here we are. It's the evening, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to put you're not going to be able to see much right now in the dark, so I'm not going to film much. This will probably be about the end of the video. I'll put a picture on the screen up here of what it looks like. What I did was went to the dealership and got the O-ring for that 𝐒𝐻𝑆 nipple. And I would have just swapped in the one that I had taken out. I searched everywhere for like half an hour and I couldn't find the one that I took out. I don't know what I did with it. I must have thrown it away. So I went to the dealership and got an O-ring. You'll see in the picture that it's slightly bigger, which is exactly, I think, what we need. So I haven't tested it yet. I'm going to stick it in there and I'll let you know. Then it's going to be dark, so maybe you'll see just here and there a few things going on. But overall, it's pretty much, I'll just show you when it's running. Alright, that's going to do the trick. This is what it should be like. You can see it just doesn't want to go in there very easy. Whereas before, it would pretty much fall out by itself. So I'm going to use a pry bar to push that up in there. But that's it. That'll do the trick. Before I put everything together, though, I'm going to pressure test the system. But I'm confident this will solve the issue. Alright, here's a little Easter egg of Easter egg in the terms of like a fun little hidden thing I just found out about this bus. So if I press right here on these wires, it changes the lights in the whole bus. I don't know why that happens, but that's pretty cool. I don't think it does that anywhere else. Just right here. So that's pretty funny. All right, that's in. I'm going to fill up this system with coolant again and pressure test it. All right, much better. It's under 17 PSI right now, and it's holding. So we're going to check for leaks up here, and then we're going to check for that suspicious leak that may be coming from the front somewhere. But again, my theory is it was just leaking coolant up here from the EGR system, and it dripped down around the front of the engine and was confusing me. So hopefully there's no leaks. We'll check up front, but back here is good, nice and tight now. Just that O-ring was the wrong size. That's ridiculous. All right, no leaks, nothing dripping. We're gonna leave the system under pressure while I reassemble everything. I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but going back together time, hopefully for the last time. All right, we've got everything back here that we needed to do, so it's all up in the front now. All right, we're all back together now. That only took like 20 minutes to do everything up there, and pretty quick. We shouldn't hear anything crazy. It's probably gonna smoke a lot still because of all the coolant in the exhaust system that's still left over, but here we go. We got an exhaust leak because I forgot to put the exhaust pipe back on. So that's what that hissing sound is. But it looks like everything's good to go. I'll tighten up that exhaust pipe. I'm gonna find another nut for that other side down there where there was only one that fit. So that's what that hissing sound is.